Admiral Richard Hawke stood in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, his posture rigid as he faced a sea of sneering alien faces. The ornate chamber, a symbol of interstellar unity, seemed hostile and unwelcoming. The gathered representatives, a diverse mix of alien species, chuckled and whispered among themselves, their derision clear. Richard remained unflinching, his mind sharp and focused on the task ahead. Admiral Hawke, an Andronian council member, sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. Does Earth truly believe its primitive defenses can withstand the might of the Xyloth? Richard's gaze remained steady. We are prepared to defend our planet with every resource at our disposal. Underestimating humanity has always been a mistake. The laughter grew louder, echoing off the chamber's high ceilings. The Xyloth threat loomed large, and Earth's position as the galaxy's underdog was painfully apparent. The Galactic Council had little faith in humanity's ability to contribute meaningfully to the defense effort. Richard's mission was clear. He had to prove them wrong. Returning to Earth, Richard was greeted by the sight of a bustling command center. Screens displayed real-time data, and personnel moved with purpose, coordinating the planet's defense efforts. Lieutenant Jason Mackenzie, a Canadian pilot known for his exceptional skill and rebellious nature, approached Richard, his expression a mix of respect and concern. Admiral, the Xyloth fleet is expected to reach our outer defenses within hours. Are we ready? Jason asked, his voice steady but tinged with the gravity of the situation. Richard nodded, his mind racing through the strategies he had meticulously planned. We have to be. Every second counts. Make sure the pilots are briefed and ready to engage. Dr. Hart's team should have the new defensive technology operational by now. Dr. Evelyn Hart, a brilliant scientist with a calm demeanor and sharp intellect, had been working tirelessly to develop new technologies that could give Earth a fighting chance. Her innovations were untested in real combat, but Richard had faith in her abilities. He found her in the lab, surrounded by a team of engineers and scientists. Evelyn, how are we looking? Richard asked, his tone urgent. She looked up from her work, her eyes determined. We're ready, Richard. The new energy shields should provide additional protection for our ships. It's not perfect, but it's our best shot. Richard nodded, appreciating her dedication. Good. We'll need every advantage we can get. As the Xyloth fleet approached, tension in the command center heightened. The initial wave hit hard, with Xyloth ships tearing through the outer defenses. Explosions lit up the dark void, and the situation looked dire. Yet, Richard's voice remained a beacon of calm, directing the defense with strategic precision. All units, execute Delta formation. Focus fire on their flanks, Richard commanded, his eyes fixed on the battle unfolding on the screens. Jason's squadron moved into position, using guerrilla tactics to harass and confuse the Xyloth forces. The enemy, accustomed to overwhelming their opponents with sheer force, found themselves outmaneuvered by the nimble human fighters. Dr. Hart's energy shields proved effective, absorbing hits that would have otherwise been catastrophic. In the thick of battle, Jason's voice crackled over the comms. Admiral, we're holding them off, but we need reinforcements at Sector 7. They're pushing hard. Richard's mind raced. Redirect Squad Bravo to Sector 7. Keep the pressure on them, Jason. We can't afford to let them break through. The battle raged on, and against all expectations, the human forces managed to repel the Xyloth's initial assault. The victory was hard-fought with significant losses, but it was a victory nonetheless. In the command center, a collective sigh of relief swept through the personnel. They had done the impossible. Richard stood before his team, his expression one of both pride and determination. We showed them what humanity is capable of today. But this is just the beginning. We need to be ready for their next move. The news of Earth's unexpected victory spread quickly. The Galactic Council, initially dismissive, began to take notice. Their mockery had turned to curiosity and a grudging respect. Richard knew that the road ahead was fraught with challenges, but he also knew that humanity had proven its worth. As the team regrouped and prepared for the inevitable next wave, Richard allowed himself a moment of reflection. The journey was far from over, but he was confident that humanity would rise to the occasion, no matter what the galaxy threw at them. The Xyloth attack had been repelled, but there was no time to celebrate. Admiral Richard Hawke stood in the command center, assessing the damage and preparing for the inevitable next wave. The air buzzed with the urgency of the situation. Technicians hurriedly repaired damaged systems, while soldiers refueled and rearmed for another confrontation. Lieutenant Jason Mackenzie approached Richard, his face set with a mixture of exhaustion and determination. "Admiral, the outer defenses held, but we lost a lot of good men out there. What's our next move?" Richard's gaze remained fixed on the strategic map displayed before him. "We need to fortify our position and prepare for their next assault. We can't afford to let them gain any ground." Jason nodded, understanding the weight of their situation. "I'll rally the pilots. We need every ship ready for combat." Dr. Evelyn Hart entered the room, her presence a calm amidst the flurry of activity. "Admiral, I've analyzed the data from the battle. Our new shields performed well, but they won't hold up under sustained fire. We need to adapt quickly." Richard turned to her, appreciating her insight. "What do you suggest, Evelyn?" "We need to enhance the shield's efficiency and develop a countermeasure for their weapons. I've already started working on it, but I'll need more resources and time," she replied, her eyes showing the strain of relentless effort. "Do whatever it takes. I'll make sure you get what you need," Richard affirmed. As the preparations continued, the tension in the air was unmistakable. The Xyloth were not known for giving up easily. They would return stronger and more determined. Richard knew that their next move would be critical. He called a meeting with his top officers to strategize. "Listen up, everyone," Richard began, his voice commanding attention. "The Xyloth will come back, and when they do, we need to be ready. They underestimated us once, and it cost them. This time, we have to hit them where it hurts." The officers nodded, their expressions serious. They discussed various tactics, from guerrilla warfare to coordinated strikes on key enemy positions. Each idea was scrutinized, refined, and integrated into their overall plan. Later, as Richard reviewed the final preparations, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He trusted his instincts, honed from years of combat experience. "Jason, keep an eye out for any unusual activity. The Xyloth are cunning. They might try something unexpected." Jason nodded. "Understood, Admiral. I'll make sure our scouts are vigilant." As the hours passed, the calm before the storm settled over the command center. The silence was almost unnerving, a stark contrast to the earlier chaos. Then, without warning, alarms blared. The Xyloth were launching a full-scale assault, their ships appearing on the radar in overwhelming numbers. "All units, this is not a drill. Engage the enemy immediately," Richard ordered, his voice steady despite the imminent threat. The battle that ensued was fierce and relentless. Human ships darted through space, employing the tactics Richard had devised. Evelyn's enhanced shields provided a critical edge, absorbing enemy fire that would have otherwise decimated their fleet. Jason led his squadron with unmatched skill, taking down Xyloth fighters with precision. But the Xyloth adapted quickly. They focused their fire on weak points in the human defenses, threatening to break through. Richard watched the battle unfold, searching for an opportunity to turn the tide. "Admiral, we have a problem." Evelyn's voice crackled over the comms. "The Xyloth have deployed a new type of weapon. It's disrupting our shield frequencies. If we don't neutralize it, we're done for." Richard's mind raced. "Can you pinpoint its location?" "Yes, but it's heavily guarded," she replied. "Jason, I need you to lead a strike team to take out that weapon." "It's our only chance," Richard commanded. "On it, Admiral. We'll get it done." Jason responded without hesitation. As Jason's team launched their daring assault, Richard coordinated the remaining defenses, buying them precious time. The strike team navigated through intense enemy fire, reaching the target. With surgical precision, they destroyed the weapon, causing a critical failure in the Xyloth's offensive. The moment the weapon was neutralized, the tide of battle shifted. Human forces rallied, pushing the Xyloth back. Richard seized the opportunity, ordering a full-scale counterattack. The Xyloth, caught off guard by the sudden shift in momentum, began to retreat. The command center erupted in cheers as the Xyloth fleet withdrew. Richard allowed himself a rare smile. They had done it again against overwhelming odds. Good work, everyone. But stay alert. This fight is far from over, Richard reminded his team, knowing that each victory only brought them closer to the next challenge. Admiral Richard Hawke stood at the center of the command room, eyes fixed on the live feed of the ongoing battle. Earth's defenses had held, but barely. The Xyloth were relentless, and their tactics grew more sophisticated with each engagement. He knew they had to strike a decisive blow to shift the momentum. Lieutenant Jason Mackenzie entered, his face showing the weariness of countless dogfights. Admiral, we've managed to regroup, but the Xyloth are adapting faster than we anticipated. We need a new plan. Richard nodded. I've been considering a more aggressive approach. We need to lure them into a trap, a decisive strike that will cripple their fleet. Dr. Evelyn Hart joined them, her expression grave. Our sensors have detected a significant energy buildup from the Xyloth ships. They're preparing for something big. We don't have much time. Richard's mind raced through the possibilities. We need to use this to our advantage. If we can identify their command ship, we can focus our attack there. Take out their leader, and their coordination will falter. Jason's eyes lit up with a spark of hope. I can lead a strike team. We'll need to get in close, but it's doable. Evelyn interrupted. We have one other advantage. The new cloaking technology I've been working on is ready for a field test. It should allow our ships to get close enough without being detected. Richard considered this for a moment. All right, Jason, you take the lead. Equip your squadron with the cloaking devices and prepare for a direct assault on the command ship. Evelyn, keep working on those shield enhancements. We'll need every bit of protection we can get. As preparations began, Richard took a moment to address his crew. This mission is critical. We're striking at the heart of the Xyloth fleet. Success means we push them back for good. Failure is not an option. Jason's squadron, equipped with the new cloaking devices, launched into the cold expanse of space. The devices worked perfectly, rendering the ships nearly invisible to enemy sensors. They navigated through the chaos of battle, weaving between enemy fighters undetected. In the heart of the Xyloth fleet, the command ship loomed large, a behemoth of advanced alien technology. Jason's voice came through the comms, steady and determined. All right, team, this is it. Stick to the plan and we'll make it through. The squadron closed in, their cloaked ships slipping past enemy defenses. As they reached the command ship, Jason gave the signal. Now! The cloaking devices deactivated, revealing the human fighters. They unleashed a barrage of concentrated fire on the command ship's critical points. Explosions rippled across its surface as they targeted engines and weapon systems. Inside the command center, Richard watched the operation unfold, every muscle tense. Evelyn, status on the shields? They're holding, but not for long, she replied, her hands moving swiftly over the controls. The Xyloth command ship, caught off guard, struggled to mount a defense. Jason and his team pressed their advantage, delivering blow after devastating blow. But the Xyloth were not defeated yet. Their retaliation was swift and brutal, forcing Jason's squadron to maneuver desperately to avoid the onslaught. Jason's voice came through again, strained but resolute. Admiral, we're taking heavy fire. We need backup or we won't make it. Richard responded immediately. Reinforcements are on the way. Hold your position as long as you can. The reinforcements, led by some of Earth's finest pilots, arrived just in time. They joined the assault on the command ship, their combined firepower overwhelming the Xyloth defenses. The command ship began to falter, systems failing under the relentless attack. Back in the command center, Evelyn monitored the situation closely. Admiral, we're seeing critical failures on the command ship. They can't take much more. Richard gave the final order. Jason, finish it. With a final coordinated strike, Jason's squadron delivered the killing blow. The Xyloth command ship erupted in a massive explosion, debris scattering into the void. The remaining Xyloth ships, now leaderless and disoriented, began to retreat. Cheers erupted in the command center, but Richard remained focused. "We've won this battle, but the war is far from over. Stay vigilant." As the adrenaline began to fade, the team regrouped. Jason returned, his ship battered but intact. He was greeted with applause and relieved smiles. Richard approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Well done, Jason. You've made Earth proud today." Jason nodded, his exhaustion evident. "We couldn't have done it without everyone's efforts, Admiral." Richard turned to his team, seeing the same mix of relief and determination in their faces. They had faced the enemy and emerged victorious, but they knew this was just one step in a long struggle. The aftermath of the battle left the command center in a state of organized chaos. Admiral Richard Hawke stood at the helm, issuing orders and coordinating the cleanup. The destruction of the Xyloth command ship had been a critical victory, but Richard knew their adversaries would not be deterred for long. Lieutenant Jason Mackenzie, weary but resolute, approached Richard with a report. "Admiral, the Xyloth forces are regrouping on the outskirts of our defense perimeter. They're not retreating. They're preparing for another assault." Richard nodded, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. "We need to take the fight to them before they have a chance to recover. This is our opportunity to strike a decisive blow." Dr. Evelyn Hart entered, her expression serious. "Admiral, I've been analyzing their movements. They're converging around a single point. If we can break through their formation, we might be able to dismantle their entire operation." Richard considered her words, formulating a plan. "Jason, prepare your squadron. We're going to hit them hard and fast. Evelyn, I need you to coordinate with our tech teams to boost our offensive capabilities." The team moved with purpose, their resolve unwavering. As the fleet prepared for the upcoming assault, Richard addressed his officers. "We've fought hard to get here, and we're not backing down now. This is our chance to end this conflict. Let's show them what humanity is capable of." Jason's squadron launched into the void, their ships glinting against the backdrop of space. They navigated through the remnants of the previous battle, their target clear. The Xyloth forces, though formidable, were vulnerable. As they approached the Xyloth formation, Jason's voice crackled over the comms. "Stay sharp, everyone. We need to break their lines and disrupt their command structure." The battle erupted with ferocity. Human ships darted through the enemy lines, exploiting weaknesses and targeting critical points. The Xyloth, taken by surprise, struggled to mount a coherent defense. Richard monitored the battle from the command center, issuing orders and adjusting strategies in real time. "Focus on their command ships. If we can take them out, the rest will fall apart." Evelyn's enhancements to the fleet's weaponry proved invaluable. The human forces unleashed a barrage of devastating firepower, overwhelming the Xyloth defenses. Ships exploded in brilliant flashes, debris scattering across the battlefield. In the midst of the chaos, Jason's squadron spearheaded the assault. They targeted the largest Xyloth command ship, their coordinated attacks causing significant damage. Jason's voice remained calm and focused. "We're making progress. Keep pushing." The Xyloth, now desperate, began to falter. Their ships moved erratically, their formations breaking apart. Richard seized the opportunity. "All units, converge on the command ship. This is our moment." The human fleet closed in, their combined firepower focused on the crippled Xyloth ship. Explosions rippled across its surface, and with a final, massive blast, the command ship disintegrated. Cheers erupted through the comms as the remaining Xyloth forces began to retreat. The human fleet pursued them, ensuring they couldn't regroup. Richard allowed himself a moment of relief. They had done it. Back at the command center, the atmosphere was electric with victory. Richard turned to his team, pride evident in his eyes. "We've shown them our strength and our resolve, but we must remain vigilant. This is a significant win, but the Xyloth will not give up easily." Evelyn approached, a rare smile on her face. Admiral, our analysis shows that their central command structure has been severely compromised. It will take them a long time to recover from this. Jason joined them, his demeanor relaxed but his eyes still sharp. We've bought ourselves some time, but we need to use it wisely. Strengthen our defenses and prepare for their next move. Richard nodded, knowing the importance of their actions. We will. But for now, let's take a moment to appreciate what we've achieved. Every one of you played a crucial role in this victory. The team dispersed, each member reflecting on the battle and the road ahead. Richard watched them, his heart swelling with pride. They had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious, a testament to their resilience and determination. As the command center settled into a more controlled rhythm, Richard allowed himself a rare moment of contemplation. The Xylo threat was far from eliminated, but this victory had proven humanity's capability to stand against even the most formidable foes.